do with beauty at all. Transparency. They want to trust their beauty brand, and that trust has to be earned. Are products cruelty-free? Do they use eco-friendly packaging? What's the deal? This includes items like
Come on, show up.
slick mascara and e.l.f. lip and cheek stick. We love a multitasking moment. This includes items
Where's
like
my eyeballs? Oh, they're there. Good, I still have two left. Hello? What the hell is going on here?
Multitasking. And so do I. Which is why I'm going to give Gen Z a point on the board. And these are going to go in our bag. And when it comes to beauty, Gen Z's focus is skincare over...
Okay, whatever, I guess.
It's a philosophy called skinimalism. Skin plus minimalism. You're smart, you get the idea. This means using fewer products and focusing in on products with better natural ingredients. Products like the
I don't know, it's been doing that lately.
products like the Kosas Dream Beam sunscreen. Because remember, theorists, we always wear our sunscreen. These will be going straight into our Gen Z bag alongside one other item. Starface acne patches.
I am obsessed with these. They're infused with tea tree oil, and when your gal is getting a pimple, then I would be treating with this after. So I always keep these in my bag.
No cap, I love these things. I swear by them. I still get breakouts to this day. These came straight out of my personal bathroom. I love you. Mwah. And they will also be going into our bag. We'll also be adding some sanitizer. Now this one is from Touchland, and while it's a little bougie, it is less watery and it's quick drying. I actually first heard of Touchland.
I should have gone with the darker fabric, but that's what I do. I regret.
And I'm going to give Gen Z another point for picking not one, but two items that I personally use. You are really trying to get me to pick a bag. And our last beauty item going into our Gen Z bag is this Vegan Day hairbrush. I don't know if I've ever carried a hairbrush in my life. I don't like brushing my hair very much. I do it maybe once a day. Should I be brushing my hair more? Maybe I should, because as we move on to our millennial bag, the first item I have to add is another brush. This is the Olivia Garden Healthy Hair Ionic Massage Brush. Not only is it meant to detangle your hair, it's meant to give your
I am too old school for fashion.
Which plays right into what millennials want from their beauty products: anti-aging and prevention care. Now that some millennials are hitting
The best prevention care you can get for your skin is fucking sunblock and staying out of the sun. Nothing's gonna age you faster than that big ball of cancer in the sky.
It's also sunscreen. Now this one is from Dermalogica, and it's an anti-aging sunscreen with a focus on helping heal your skin as much as protect it from the sun. Which means our millennials will also be getting a multitasking point. We'll also be adding the timeless classic of the Neutrogena makeup wipes. I'm not typically a makeup person. I find them to be a waste.
Oh, hello. Sorry, just kind of talking to myself, listening to Fashion Theory. How are you tonight? I'm making a giant squid.
But I am not rewarded.
He's gonna be over 8 foot long.
Let me know what you think in the comments. Makeup wipes. Yay or nay? Other popular items in millennial bags include new brands like Fenty and their gloss book, which really pays homage to that Y2K gloss that millennials grew up with. It's important to note that only certain colors of this gloss are actually vegan, despite what the website may have you believe, which is good for millennials to know, but also for Gen Z, because again, they really value transparency. So, no points for that. But we will see that nostalgia is a big theme with millennials. Case in point, Benefit Mascara, which saw its peak in popularity circa 2010 and is still
I would love to go back to 2010. Early 2000s. If I can go back to any time period, it'd be early 2000s when I still had like a little bit of hope left in my soul for the future of this planet and everyone on it. It's a nice time.
You get the idea.
Like I knew the whole world was starting to burn down, but I thought I'd have a couple more years before shit hit the fan. At least before I thought the death of the internet. Ugh, I have to get the deep play that part. Okay, where is that extension part? I have it. I just have never thought to use it because I'm an idiot. Hello. Hello. Huzzah! Just like that. Now, I'll pin all you bitches in place.
Head to head. This covers anything that relates to your physical or mental health. More than previous generations, both Gen Z and millennials have embraced the idea that taking care of yourself, both mentally and physically, is probably a good thing. Therapy, vacations, exercise, plus a little treat here and there. We love it. And of course, my personal favorite thing, the snacks. So let's start there. Now, Jen's favorite backpacks happen to be these mini versions of their favorite at-home snacks. We can do things like goldfish, great choice, and Cheetos, which are the vegan version of flaming hot Cheetos. And I know a lot of people don't like the vegan stuff, so I'm going to tell you a secret. Come here, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. These are even spicier.
Vegan doesn't mean cruelty-free. In order to grow plants, you have to kill everything in that area. There cannot be a mouse, a mole, a bug, a bunny, a deer, a shrew, a rabbit, a hare, anything. There can be nothing in that area. So all of those things have to die. Meanwhile, a cattle farm, all those animals can just kind of like chill and do their thing.
We've got some gummy bears. These are amazing.
Both generations have embraced the glory of journaling, with Gen Z steering toward guided journals like the ones made by Bamboo. Not only are they cute, which is always a bonus, they're designed to help with self-discovery without being too daunting, which is a great niche for a generation that's now entering adulthood and all that has to offer. Millennials, on the other hand, typically steer towards regular line journals, also with pretty covers. It's Style Theory Blue into the back. But back to the bags, which are actually starting to look kind of full. At least the Gen Z one is. Looking at the millennials, there's a lot of room still left in this bag, which is going to be a point to the millennials, which puts us at a tied score of 4 for millennials and 4 for Gen Z.
4 for you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
You know, looking at the round so far, Gen Z is actually starting to look a little practical. One might say almost millennial. They also have a big overlap when it comes to carrying things like mints and gum. Both Gen Z and millennial know that keeping a fresh mouth is key. But this is where our generations diverge. Gen Z isn't spilling the tea, they're keeping the tea in their bag. Olivia Rodrigo carries around throat coat tea for her boys, while Kit Connor carries around English breakfast tea to help calm his nerves about tea.
Sometimes in hotels they just don't have English breakfast tea, which is kind of stressful because you see like peppermint tea and things like that, and I just wouldn't drink that.
Millennials, on the other hand, well, they once again lean into that always be prepared mindset, including things like reusable water bottles, body oils, and these little things called boo-boo sticks.
Okay, let's try this.
Feeling a certain way. While the lavender works more like a self-soothing agent, one that can help you de-stress. And with all that now installed in your bag, it's finally starting to look a little full. Well, our Gen Z bag is feeling good. But our next round doesn't just involve stuff that goes in your bag. Some of it will go in your bag. Round 4 is our funny games category. This includes anything from actual games to any kind of boredom box. Favorite, Labubu. This is the Labubu that we unboxed in our episode, and it's actually going to become one of our little best.
I don't get the Labubu thing. It's not cute to me, it's not cuddly, it's not anything. I don't like it, it doesn't interest me. If I get one, I'll probably flip it into a monster. I get it, they're supposed to be so ugly they're cute, but I don't get it. That brown thing with the teeth made of clay with the green horse thing. Yeah, that gives me the same vibe. I'm not interested.
Across the board, Gen Z is the earbud generation, whether it's you're ready to cue up your plan. Speaking of, both generations whip hard for books. Audiobook or ebook,
There we go.
soft cover or hardcover, I don't care. Books are good for the soul, and that means points all around. Millennials are going to get the physical book because I can't fit this in the envelope. This bag is a little small. The phone's going to go in there. And that brings us to our millennial fun and game. Now, millennials like Gen Z are never without their phone or headset, but where Gen Z prefers earbuds, big phone.
I do prefer the big headphones. There's his leg.
If you walk in and you back the stick, then they know you're Gen Z. Where's my gram? I think our millennial bag is starting to get kind of full. While Gen Zs have their Lavubus, millennials are revisiting an old friend from their childhood, Tamagotchi. Not only can this decorate
Yes,
your bag,
Tamagotchis.
take care of your virtual pet entertainment.
The Tamagotchi has been replaced by the Fitbit, because the creature you're trying to keep alive is yourself.
One time that Gen Z actually goes for bigger items, and millennials are sometimes it's so disproportionate. Snap masks for when yours means catching up on your Z's, Barbies, or other nostalgic toys, and tarot cards. And the Watson and Dua Lipa pack of cards is their bag. And you know what? That's a point for Team Millennials. Because whether you're doing classic tarot or guidance cards, ain't nothing wrong with a good old shuffling spread. Let's pull you a guidance card right now. Our top card is...
I do not want my tarot fortune card read. There we go. All right.
This round is just started with a tie. Which means our final round will decide the fate of who wins our What's in My Bag generation battle. And this round is a wild one. This is our wild card.
Everybody get
round.
inside the
Generation
body.
will only get one item to try and take the title of Best in Bag. And each generation has just one more shot to convince me to carry their bag. Up first, millennials. This was a hard one to figure out. Millennials are surprisingly predictable in what they carry. But there was one thing that popped up again and again and again. Hot sauce. Now before you go into the comments and say, wait, that should have been in the food category. No, it should not. Because carrying hot sauce in your bag isn't just about snacking. It is a lifestyle. Just as Beyonce. I got hot sauce in my bag. What? Who are we to argue with Queen D? Now, I did give Gen Z a point earlier in the episode for the spice, which means that I kind of have to give millennials a point for this one. It's only fair. As for Gen Z's wildcard option, well, it's actually what inspired me to do this episode in the first place. Yeah, we've gone through all of this just because of one item in Millie Bobby Brown's bag.
But I carry a microchip scanner, which scans dogs, scans their microchip numbers on their back. So when I find stray dogs or cats, I check if they have a microchip. If they don't have one, then I'm able to take them to the shelter, get them registered, and then take them to my rescue so that they'll find them a home.
Oh my god, I better cry!
I didn't know it was a fucking thing. I need one.
Not only is it a selfless
I catch about 2 dogs a year.
living lives with what's in your bag. Your bag isn't just full of trinkets and useless items. It's made up of what you care about and what matters to you. And that 100% deserves a point. And it's actually done the impossible. It's convinced me to actually start carrying a bag. At least sometimes. Look, I can't fully give up my love of pockets, okay? But it does mean that we're ending the episode on a tie. 7 points to 7 points. However, before you get mad at the comments, I actually think this makes a lot of sense. Throughout this episode, for as many differences as there are between Gen Z's preferences for certain brands and trinkets versus millennials' nostalgic taste and preparedness, when you zoom out and really take a look at everything that we've looked at today, they actually have a lot more in common than I thought at the start of the episode. And while these may have been some of the top common items between Gen Z and millennial bags, it can't encompass everyone. I'm gonna bet that your bag looks different than either bag we put together today. That it includes different brands and different trinkets. Heck, even when it comes down to the bag itself. The options are nearly endless. As SAS Daphne Merkin wrote in the New York Times, bags serve as the portable manifestation of a person's sense of self. A detailed and remarkable...
Mine's full of business receipts that I have not put into my system yet.
...of their life. Your bag is you. Stripped down to your most basic parts. And now that we know what each overall generation puts in their bag, it's time for me to ask you the big question. What's in your bag? But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Coming up next on Style Theory. What the heck is a Labubu? And should you even care? Today we will be unboxing a pillowcase of things to figure out if it works.
Alright, let's see if that'll work.
Are these little monsters so addicting in the first place?
I hate them. I hate Labubus.
I've tried all of the viral trends, and my skin gets really sensitive. I've been using Clinique for about 9 or 10 years. It's just free.
I watched some Try Guys. I haven't watched them in a while.
Moisturize 2 times a day, and my skin is just
Delivered. Yeah, probably. Alright, let's try this. Yeah. Okay. Do this. I can.
Makeup companies are lying to you. I spent 8 hours emptying over 40 popular makeup products. Overall, and inside all that pretty packaging is a secret so big it could destroy the whole makeup industry. Welcome to Style Theory. Or rather, it's frustration. It could be you, one of your friends, or your grandma. And I bet all of them know that rage you feel when there's that foundation bottle that you just can't reach. That is our money going straight into the garbage. And it's not just foundation. It happens with everything. Lipstick, concealers, those eyeshadow palettes that break way more than what combination of products and packages is going to give me the best bang for my buck? Is liquid foundation in a pump better than one in a tube? Is eyeshadow better than the liquid version? Is the clicker method the best way to get it? I rated my local Ulta to gather 44 of the most popular styles of makeup containers across 7 different categories, so that we can finally know for sure what products are a waste and which are saving grace to our wallet. Angry. Theorists, this was supposed to be an easy episode. It was one and done, as it were. But what ensued was one of the biggest tests of mental health I have ever experienced. Ow. And what we found at the end will change the way that you look at makeup forever. We're starting with our face powders, aka the stuff you put on top of your foundation and concealer to make them stay put. Let's meet our contenders. We have a pressed powder in a circular container, a pressed powder in a square container, and a loose powder. We are testing 3 key factors: container shape, and first, shape. Circle containers have no corners for the makeup to build up and get stuck in, like the square version. Then you have consistency. Theoretically, loose powder should be easy to move and get out of hard-to-reach places. Finally, applicators. Powders are most commonly put on with a makeup brush, so that's what we'll be using for our swatch test. And to save my face from having to go through the ultimate makeup roulette, I brought a little help. For this, we are going to use application.
Alright, let's see how crooked it is.
Never used before brush onto our lovely call Josie. This is Josie. Josie is a
That's way off.
mannequin, which is used in makeup testing. We'll be applying an initial layer of makeup onto her face so
take
that
that part
not
up
only
and redo
can we
it.
figure out if our containers are stealing our money, but if the applicators we use do as well. Don't worry, that number will be factored into our final results so that we don't miss any drops. We will be emptying them out into new containers so that we're not having any product go to waste as much as possible. Let's get started. Right away, I noticed some concerning design choices. This feels heavy, so the amount that's actually just going towards the packaging versus the product that we're getting is one of those places where they like to trick you into thinking that you're getting a lot more than you actually are. Remember that, theorists. It's going to take time for this episode. But that was just the tip of the tricky packaging iceberg. Enter the loose powder. Ooh, that is such a satisfying fit. While shaking it did wonders for my serotonin, it led to some chalky consequences. If you've ever wondered why makeup ingredients are important, observe. how much of this is going into your air and your lungs. But that wasn't the worst part. For as much as I love loose powder, when you look inside this container, there is this little piece of plastic that's basically like a container that you can. This is meant to basically break up any of the clumps in your makeup and help make sure you're not taking too much at a time. But it also traps a bunch of the powder underneath it in these nooks and crannies that just never seem to come out. This is frustrating to me as a loose powder person. Please do not let all of my favorite products do me dirty this episode. Pressed powders, I had easy access to the powder. Or so I thought. If you've never used a pressed powder before, you usually start in the center and work your way out to the edges. And that's where I ran into a problem. It's once you get to these outside edges that you really start to struggle on the brush. Since we're trying to see how much product goes to waste, I will only be emptying these products to the point they feel unusable. That means that when the container counts towards it, because it can't make it onto the brush or to the we'll then compare the amount on the packaging to find out
if that's any better.
I know, this looks kind of scary. That is literally the worst.
A little bit better. Let's see how she looks.
Not as complicated as it looks. After emptying out our circular square pressed powders, it was time to assess the damage. The loss from our brush during the application process was really tiny, so much so that if we tried to calculate it in money terms, we would be losing a fraction of a penny. Not too bad. Now for the actual packaging and powder. The worst of the bunch was surprisingly the circular pressed powder, with the percentage wasted of 4.29%. Yikes! The product broke apart early in the emptying process, to the point where it no longer fit our usable guidelines. Think of it like the arches of a building. Since there are no angles in the packaging to form arches to hold the product together, the product has to try and reinforce itself by forming its own arches, as you can see inside our container. Unfortunately, in doing so, those arches are too strong and actually break apart our product, making it unusable. Moving on to second place, we have my personal favorite, the loose powder, which came in at a shocking 6.76% gain. Yes, despite the plastic strainer and the air pollution, we actually got more product than listed on the package. I am sorry I ever doubted you. And even crazier, in first place, the square pressed powder came in at a 17.14% gain. This means that we actually saved money on both of these products. To be exact, we earned 81 cents and $1.60.
And stuffing
Weird, right?
that I put through the washing machine in a bag. I'm gonna have it come through. I mean, it's green, so it shouldn't match. That's recycled stuff.
So let's move on to
These are from other giant teddy bears I've taken apart over the years.
And it comes in many consistencies.
I prefer squishmallow stuffing, but I'm out of squishmallows, I think.
For all of our bases, I got 8 options to test.
I might have one upstairs.
Turn this day from a fun science experiment into a literal nightmare. The first problem, we were measuring everything in weight. For the packaging, you see everything in volume. This meant that we needed to find the density of our liquid foundation, which, let me tell you, is not something you can just Google. Oh no, we had to do it ourselves, which involved getting another set of bottles, a graduated cylinder, and doing a lot more makeup math. It's the worst. The second problem, getting the makeup out. Prepare yourselves because things are about to get really, really messy. Editors, can we get a messy montage moment?
All right. Much better.
Shall we? Only 2 of our foundation options didn't leave us in debt. Yes, 2 out of 8. The best was shockingly the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation in the powder form. Why was it so surprising, you ask? Because yet again, square pressed powder reigned supreme, exactly like in round 1. This was actually blowing my mind, theorists. Already, we're seeing a clear pattern, though part of the success
Good for other things, but not these guys.
A lot of us throw away these sponges that people just put in the containers, but because of it, I have so much more freedom to move this product around because we're using a different applicator that's flexible, and I can actually feel myself actively digging and getting the product. However, not all of our items today will have this option, so there's still a lot left to discover. Speaking of, in second place, we had the About Face Foundation, which is the brand by Singer Halsey. This was a thinner liquid foundation with a built-in doe foot applicator, which is not something I usually see in a foundation. Not gonna lie, I was not a fan to start.
This doe foot applicator does not pick up product at all. It is real bad.
But hey, I'll admit when I'm wrong. And Halsey, I was wrong. You and your doe foot actually earned us back $5.39 by giving us more product than you promised.
That is a surprise, friends. That is a surprise.
Plus, your packaging wasn't trying to fool us like one of our other options, the L'Oreal True Match.
So our empty bottle comes in at 3.18199 ounces, which tells me that this packaging is lighter than this one, which is interesting. Technically, this has more product in it, but this weighs more. So what this is telling me is that a lot of the weight of this product is the actual product you're getting to use versus this one that is trying to make you think it has more, but the bottle is actually most of the weight that you're feeling. So this is still heavy. This one is trying to lie to you actively. This one just needs to do better with its applicator and lose the dope. L'Oreal, come on now.
Come on, indeed. It was our runner-up for the worst foundation. It had a very runny consistency and a very, very unusual bottle.
But it's a...
I hate these commercials, but I can't skip them, and then I get copyright strikes for the music and the commercials. Go figure that one out. Or warnings or whatever. Alright, over there, little one.
But it's a dropper. There's a lot that can go wrong in this transfer process.
Ugh, and oh boy did it. From the product getting stuck in the dropper, lost in the sponge instead of on Josie's face, and even stuck under the lid, the waste was huge. And that's without talking about the bottle itself. The dropper was so short that there was a large section at the bottom of the bottle it couldn't reach.
For all of us who are frequent makeup users, this is a familiar motion. It's not getting up into the upper corners, like it can't bend there. I can get as far as here to scrape the side.
This container lost us an additional $5.18 on top of its original price of $19.99. That is insane! Not as much as our biggest loser, the Maybelline Instant Age Eraser Clean Foundation. This thing looks like one of those dot makers they use at a bingo game on a cruise ship rather than a makeup container. And it works about as well as one too. This thing is built to steal your product.
This stops here. There's a whole layer of product down there that no matter how much I'm twisting it, is not coming up through this. Which to me, my personal opinion, is a flaw in this design because I paid for that. I paid for all of that and all the stuff sitting up there.
Up there is the built-in felt tip, which is meant to make application easy. Really, all it does is absorb your makeup and you still have to use a second applicator to finish applying it to your face, leading to even more product loss. In makeup math terms, that's a 33.97% product loss. Seriously, that's a full third of the product that you are not getting. The worst! In the end, this was our complete rankings of each foundation. Now, theorists, I gotta say, I was getting a little angry at this point with just how much of our money was going to waste. But I was also curious. All of this data was slowly painting a picture of something huge. Something that was going to blow the lid off the makeup industry.
All right.
We just needed a few more shades of data. Concealer is every insomniac's best friend. Did you stay up studying until 3 a.m. for that test you forgot was tomorrow and end up with eye bags the size of Tesco the Penguin? Concealer has your back. We have 5 different types this round, and oh look, 2 of those are felt tips. Whee! Theorists, I'll give you one guess on which 2 did the worst this round. The Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken 5-in-1 coordinating lost us a total of $2.49 worth of product, while yet again Maybelline's Age Rewind took the bottom spot with a total loss of $3.16.
I lost something on the floor and I already don't remember what it was.
Worst of all, the infamous felt tip was broken.
That's concerning. That's concerning. The concealer is coming up from underneath our applicator.
However, not all of them were failures, namely the NYX Pro Fix Stick Concealer, our first stick of the episode. I'll I'll be honest, I've never used a stick concealer, but now that I know it contains 4.9% more product than listed on the packaging, I may have to start, even if the texture is a little bit weird.
Ooh, it's mushy. That was not the consistency I expected.
However, even with all that extra product, I do have one complaint. The way it's designed. There are a few centimeters of product kept under the plastic as an anchor point to hold it in place. And you just can't use it unless you want to scrape your face with plastic. Just something to keep in mind when we talk about stick products. The rest of our products hit somewhere in the middle, not giving us any big data points. Making these our final rankings for our concealers. On to round 4. Whoa, is it hot in here? Because my cheeks are red. Nah, I'm joking. It's just time for our blush round. This round had the most diverse consistencies so far. You got your butters, your putties, your drops, your sticks, and of course, your pressed powders. Sorry, I don't know why I go New Jersey when I do that. And there were just as many new shapes of containers. I started with the round pressed powder blush by Milani. You'll remember that in round 1, the round pressed powder didn't do so well. But this one had a unique twist. It's not just a circle, it's a semi-sphere. Theorists, I believed that this mini mountain of blush was going to be different. It was going to be better. Until I uncovered something terrible.
Oh. Hello. This packaging's pretty deep. They make you think that you're getting this large amount of stuff because it's sticking out from the container, but that's just because the container itself is shallow. So, tricky, Milani. Tricky.
Misleading packaging strikes again. Except this time, it actually benefited us with a product gain of 7.4%, meaning it scored better than the consistent square pressed powder and took second place this round, even though it made a huge mess. Then we have two very unique options for Morphe. The Morphe Hot Shot Blush Drops, where one drop is meant to be all you need, and the Morphe Perk Up Cheek and Lip Color, which, if you can't tell by the name, is a blush and a lipstick in one. We love a multi-purpose makeup, if it saves us money, but they don't. The Hot Shot Drops lost us an astounding 11.88% of the product, and the 2-in-1 cheek and lip combo actually did worse, losing a whopping 23.68% of our product. It may be a 2-in-1, but leaving nearly a quarter of the product wasted doesn't help make up for any affordability you might get from buying. The real winner of round 4 was yet again another NYX product. Okay, NYX, we see you. The NYX Buttermilk Blush is a cream-based powder. Weird, I know, but its rectangular shape and thicker consistency held together so well, we gained 15.82% of the product. That's a savings of almost $2 whole.
I can dig into it with this blush brush and just keep getting stuff.
Looking at our final rankings this round, it's clear that one way or another, a square pressed powder will win every single time. Or will it? So far this episode, we've seen these square and rectangle containers reign supreme with their fancy reinforced arches and lack of breakage, leaving the circles behind to eat their dust. Literally. In this category, we had one of each variety, and we'll only be emptying one pan per palette to limit waste. So for our makeup map, which, as you know, is the worst, we will be adjusting our calculations to reflect as if we've emptied the whole thing. And you know what would be fun? Let's raise the stakes. I would like you to guess which of these 3 options on screen is going to win. Square, rectangle, or circle. Take your guess in 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Did you pick the e.l.f. bite-sized palette? Judges.
The sides kind of go first.
Instead, it gathered into the corners, which, thanks to how the pans were sunken into the palette, we could not reach. Unlike previous rounds, it wasn't able to form those secure arches. Oh, also?
I feel like more than the other ones. This is just line everywhere.
Even so, this did end up with a 15.7% product gain, putting it in 3rd place. Now, who picked the Milani Mini palette with its narrower rectangular pans and super sharp angles? Judges?
Ooh, this one cracked really fast. This was definitely not as deep as the other one, but the sides are gone.
This one did better with a gain of 29.65%, which means, drum roll please, Our number one for this round, with a product gain of 37.73%, is the Morphe 2 Radiant 5 palette. Man, what a comeback for Morphe. This one shocked me with just how much product it held in that tiny, tiny circle.
That's interesting. Unlike our face powders and the powder foundation and even some of our blushes, this one's not breaking up. This one's just kind of going and letting me wear away at the side. The only other one that did that was the Milani. That is a lot of powder packed into that little section.
Why did this circle dominate this category? Consistency. Eyeshadows tend to be a drier texture than the other powders that we've tried today. This is to help them be more blendable on the eye, but it also means that the products can't clump together to form those strong arches. So for the eyeshadow, the circle takes the square, which brings me to our bottom two. Theorists, this is where the episode really started to break me. I'd already spent 5 hours emptying makeup containers, but none of that prepared me for facing my greatest foe yet, the liquid eyeshadow. I hammered, I shook, I scraped trying to get every last bit of product out of these bottles. I was making so much noise that the people next door thought we were doing construction work. And for what? Getting my hands dyed blue and finding out that after all of that hard work, they suck? Yeah, with the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots coming in at 6.5% product loss, and then the About Face Matte Fluid Eye Paint gave us a 19.69% loss. That's an extra $3.14 down the drain, which, looking at the rankings for this round, is a lot. But theorists, it was nothing compared to what we were about to see. This one round ended up having both the single best and single worst product of the entire day. All 4 of our eyeliners were from e.l.f. We had a gel pencil, a retractable cream stick, a felt tip pen, and my personal favorite to dump out, the liquid pop.
Ooh, it's like pure ink. We're inventing in the ink machine, people.
It's art. This is actually the eyeliner I use, but even my love for it couldn't save it from its terrible score. A 13.19% product loss. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a minute. I feel so betrayed. The cream stick did slightly better at a 3% product loss, but the clear winner of this round and the winner of the entire day was the gel pencil. The fact that I could twist it to precisely
finally.
feel like I could get every last inch out of the container. And unlike the NYX cream stick from the concealer round,
Fucking getting old sucks. Your hormones are fucking shit. And then you throw like political and media shit on top of that, and it's just like doom scrolling while you just stand here not actually doom scrolling. Whew, finally that let go. Whew. My medication doesn't help either. It makes me like absolutely fucking miserable. Whew. I've been fucking spiraling since yesterday. God damn it. I don't know if I'm gonna have a job in a month. And we're spiraling down again. Fuck! I wish I could live off my monsters and my crafts and stuff, but I know I can't.
The felt tip pen runs dry and dulls down well before you finish the product. I don't know about you, but I can't get a sharp wing with this. Despite our best efforts, and I tried, theorists, we wasted 99.69%. That's not nice. Seriously, do not buy these. That is a crime.
Let's see how big this one is.
An affordable option like ours. In this episode, we avoided luxury brands because while the brands are different, the packaging still follows the same pattern. Meaning that if you bought, say, a Dior eyeliner pen for $35, you are still
on the floor,
using the same amount of product, but
that's a giant squid.
That holds true for all the products that we're testing today. But there's still one hard lesson we have left to learn.
That's an 8-foot ceiling.
For this final round, we are testing 10 products. Our biggest round of the episode. Let me tell you,
start the next one.
For 7 straight
I only got 2 more blankets. It's already downstairs.
I thought this was going to be an easy episode to do. It's like, wow, There's one in there.
I think I got enough stuffing in here for most of him.
Super smart.
I do another one.
Really good thing.
Alright, everybody get over there.
Nothing about it.
No
Well, that means I
tea,
have
no
to cut
shade,
one
you
of
know,
those
except
first.
for the vibrant background on my hands from all the products. Now, this round had some quirky thick stains, suede, fat oil, and this lipstick.
I really should just clean off this fucking table, but
Shaped like a heart
I guess I'm
inside
not.
the rest of the lipstick. Like I said, quirky. While slicing and dicing all of our stick options was really fun despite some faulty packaging.
It broke. The fancy packaging broke. I am cursed. This is my curse. But it also just goes to show you that the fancy packaging doesn't actually always mean better products.
Nothing could have prepared me for the nightmare that was about to happen. Getting all of that liquid lipstick out.
This is sticky. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's so sticky. So I'm really just scraping around, trying to get the last little dreads that are right here by the
I
end.
holds out a couple of inches.
Just so freaking slow.
Oh god. There we go.
Ah.
There we go.
I cursed the Amy that went to Ulta and said, oh yeah, the XSL one. That's so fine.
We all have to live with our bad decisions sometimes. Yet all that rage, all that frustration was building up inside of me from everything we've gone through today. From learning that some of our products are straight up stealing our money to just how much my hands hurt from banging and scraping away at these containers for hours. All of it was worth it because it led to one of the biggest surprises of my makeup career. Just watch.
One thing I'll say about these, they are really hard to get the product out of the bottom. Like there's a whole section in here that I can't reach in all of these products. So unless the consistency of your lipstick is like thin enough to hit and move, you really are stuck. Well, that makes this a little simpler.
You see, one of the biggest problems I kept running into this round, this whole day was this little plastic ring inside the neck of the liquid container.
That is product that I wasn't able to reach because of how the container is designed. Why are they trying to hide so much product from us?
While it's designed to help you manage the amount of product you're getting in a helpful way, it's actually causing major damage to your wallet. The ring limits your ability to access all sides of the bottle. And worse, it creates a tiny little vacuum inside the bottle. That vacuum then traps that layer of makeup at the bottom of your bottle from coming out, no matter how hard you shake or bang. After that ring came out, we had access to a whole new world of products.
That's wild. Like, I can scoop up this entire tube now. The entirety of it.
Since we weren't able to get the reading before that item broke, we needed something to prove that this was actually a game changer. This time we could find out how much we got before and after the ring was removed. It wasn't easy. Unlike the one that broke, most of these are not meant to be taken out. Yet after a long battle with the bottle, we did it. And theorists, we were able to save an extra 23% of product from behind its ring privet. While this product itself wasn't the best save of the day, this discovery was. Looking at our final rankings, only 2 products gave us that positive result, and the only liquid to do so had a much wider opening than all of our other ring options. Throughout this whole day, we've been talking about earning money or losing money on your makeup, and that's because we discovered that each product comes with a risk. Makeup companies are terrible at regulating their products to fit what's advertised on the bottle. Like, really terrible. Based on all of our calculations today, we are always losing an average of 6% of the products that we buy. For a $10 product, that's about 60 cents, which may not seem like much until you multiply that by the tons of product that we buy every year. That adds up fast. And that loss grows exponentially if you're buying luxury brands. However, these makeup brands aren't your small-time grifters looking to make a quick buck. They are the casino. Yes, every time you purchase a makeup item, you are placing your money down on the betting table and hoping that you either win big or come out even. But the house always has a trick up its sleeve. And that trick is that you will never know which product and container is going to make you lose it all and go home broke. Until now. Thanks to our experiment today, I have a few tips to stack the odds in your favor. Tip number 1, powder is goated. While we all get frustrated about the products stuck at the edge of the pan, it's far better than the huge amount of liquid product that gets stuck inside and outside the bottle. And even then, that's if you're
This
using
one's
those
gonna be a
liquids
pain in the
every
ass. I'll
day
just
and
line this
not
up and
let
call it a
dry
night, I
out.
think.
If you must use a liquid, make sure that the bottle opening is wide and has easy access to get those last final drops. No bubbles. Second, when it comes to applicators, sponges may steal more of your product than brushes, but the loss is negligible, especially compared to point number 3. The simpler the container, the better. All of the gimmicky products with their fancy tubes and felt tips do you and your wallet more harm than good. Though, this is only part of the answer. If you want a part 2 where I go through every brand of makeup to figure out which ones are being the most honest and which are lying out their little container mouths, leave me a comment below. And I'll prepare myself for even more makeup math. Remember, it's the worst. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp.
Hey, it's me, former host MatPat, and I interrupt this video with a special announcement. I'm here to tell you I'm retiring. Again! Yeah, that's what I think. Now, what you thinking? Did this guy already leave?
Ooh, glad I clicked on this.
Yes, but also, you see, since leaving this channel, I've been over on GT Live having a grand old time being bad at video games and turning 1-minute videos into 90-minute theory fests. So now it's time for me to bow out of that channel as well, giving way to the new host, Ash, who, let's be honest, is way funnier than me anyway.
I feel like Judge Judy is the Ed Sheeran of, like, Americans over the age
Judy is the Ed Sheeran of
Americans over the age of 65.
It's an old episode?
Saturday, October 26th
Yeah,
at 1
it's an
o'clock
old
p.m.
episode.
Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific, we're having a big going-away party live, and I want you to be there. Consider it an Eras tour for GT Live, where we're playing games and getting all nostalgic about the last decade of streaming. And most importantly of all, this whole thing is meant to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, an organization that works to make the wildest dreams come true for children fighting the world's most critical illnesses. In fact, in the stream, we're raising money for their most urgent wishes, what are known as the rush wishes, the ones where, sadly, the children don't have that much time left. The reason this meant so much to me is that basically you all made my wishes come true thanks to this career on YouTube. And now, as my final act, I'd like to pay it forward by making other people's wishes come true. Seemed like a really fitting note.
See how this one
Hey,
works.
if you want to start contributing now, as part of the charity event, we're actually having an auction of some old MatPat and GT Live memorabilia from over the years, with all the proceeds going to help those critically ill children to get their wishes granted. You can actually get your hands on some super rare, one-of-a-kind items, like the morph suit that I wore from that edible underwear episode.
Oh, God.
A giant Gigachew that's hanging around our office. We have a signed copy of Undertale from yours truly, so you can own one along with the Pope, and even my signature red jacket. Yeah, the one that's been hanging up on set since my retirement video. One of a kind, signed by me. You'll see it live on the stream, so you know it's real. Anyway, all those items and more are available right now for you to bid on all throughout this week up until the auction closes during the finale live stream. So if you're interested in contributing to an amazing charity and an amazing cause, or if you're interested in just doing some cool stuff, make sure you check out the link down in the description below. And be sure you're there this Saturday, the 26th, at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific, for one final video. A final video for you. See ya.
First Pacers 360 is the #1 blonde ever.
Welcome to Frosty Farms.
Go.
These nutty nights at Frosty.
This one glows in the dark, by the way. I should find an undercolor. That'll work. Alright, cut the longs first. Which way are the longs? This doesn't feel very long.
Down. You turn to coffee and soda as a little
Long.
treat to help you get through the day, even though you feel guilty because you promised to cut down on caffeine this year. Yeah, me too. Nowadays, it feels like caffeine is the new drug epidemic, shoved into every corner of our lives in increasing amounts. Coffees, energy
Okay,
drinks,
12.
and even lemonades
Here.
are so full of this stuff that they're becoming outright deadly. But caffeine is hidden in more than just your food and drink. More and more recently, skincare products have been introduced with caffeine to help brighten up the skin and supposedly give you energy. But that can't really work. I can't just up and replace my daily Diet Coke with this rubbed out special face lotion, can I? In a world where we need to be increasingly aware of our caffeine intake, is it possible that we're getting high on caffeine through our very own skin? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, the show packed with more energy than a jumbo can of Monster. If you've been subscribed to the Fierce Family channel for a while, you know that I have myself an addiction to Coke. Diet Coke, that is. The soda brand. Don't demonetize me for that one. I've had a love-hate relationship with this soda for years, and I've tried to quit it multiple times.
I didn't want to get this one, but it goes in the dark, and although I don't like spaceships,
It is bad, my friends, and not just as an example to Ollie,
maybe they'll grow on me.
I've never experienced any sort of negative health effects from drinking too much soda. I know that drinking a whole load of sugary chemicals ain't great for your body. And so after a year spent covering the caffeine epidemic over on Food Theory, it's now 2024, I'm starting to retire from the channels, and I'm finally prioritizing my health first. And step number one in the process is dealing with my caffeine problem. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this episode about caffeine on Style Theory? MatPat's been senile in this whole year. He announced that he's handing off the hosting role here to Amy, and suddenly he can't keep his channel straight. No, we're actually here for a very specific reason: skincare. To be very clear, I've seen ads
along.
products that are meant to energize and revitalize the skin. And that's made me really curious. How much caffeine would you actually be able to get from these sorts of products? Could a relaxing face mask also replace your daily cup of coffee? Is infusing your skincare creams and serums with caffeine actually doing anything? Just a bunch of marketing trying to sell you an overpriced beauty product. That's the test that we've done for you today. By we, I mean me and my very willing volunteers. Joining me in this caffeine cleanse are some familiar faces from around Team Fierce: Amy, Casey, and Tom. All of us have very different relationships to caffeine, and all of us are very happy to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure putting me through this.
Now, for us to do this right, we first have to understand how caffeine affects our body. Caffeine is stimulants, meaning it makes our body go into overdrive. When we ingest it, it gets circulated through the bloodstream and up to the brain, where it does most of its dirty work. The caffeine molecules bind to these things called adenosine receptors. Now, adenosine is a naturally occurring chemical that helps make you sleepy by acting as a depressant to your system. But adenosine and caffeine look almost identical to the body, which then lets the caffeine push the adenosine out of the way, take its spot, and send that highly focused energy blast straight to your central nervous system. And if that sounds like a drug, well, you're not wrong. It is
I'm confused again.
be the world's most widely
Early
used
onset
drug.
dementia's
In fact,
kicking in,
just
I
like
think.
other drugs, once the caffeine leaves your system, your body can go through withdrawal symptoms, decreased energy, mood swings, cravings, headaches. Clearly, this is going to be a super fun episode for the four of us. And here's the kicker: caffeine can take up to 9 days to leave your system. So that right there gives us our first big step of the experiment. In order to see whether caffeinated beauty products give you energy, we first have to purge our bodies of any caffeine remnant that may still be floating around in there. That means that each and every one of us is going to have to go 9 days without it to get the most accurate data. No sodas, no coffees, no teas, energy drinks, or boba. But while it can take 9 days to fully leave the system, the withdrawal symptoms can start as soon as day 1. So let's just see how we're all sitting at the start of this little experiment, shall we? When it comes to caffeine, I am on addict. I think I'm less an addict to the caffeine than I am to the soda that I drink. I love the flavor of Diet Coke. I've been addicted to it for years, and I have only seen me escalating in my consumption over the last year. I used to drink maybe like 3 sodas a day. Towards the end of 2023, it's gotten up to about like 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a lot. It is a lot. And at the time I filmed that clip, I didn't even realize how much it actually was. The FDA recommends consuming no more than 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. When it comes to Diet Coke, the average can is about 46 milligrams, which is about 20 milligrams less than caffeine in a shot of espresso. So not all that bad until you start adding in more cans. At the rate that I was downing Diet Coke, I was hitting that 400 milligrams almost every single day through soda alone. Not including any of the other sources of caffeine that just exist in the world around us, in places like, say, chocolate. I recognize that I have a problem. I recognize that caffeine is a more of the stuff that I'm consuming, so I want to cut it out. That said, I was a bit of an outlier in that little group. When it comes to everyone else, they prefer their caffeine to be dry roasted.
I don't think I can give up chocolate.
In hot water.
I have like 2 cups, maybe 3 cups in a day. I usually drink one when I wake up, and then
I hope I don't have any cavities. I'm going to the dentist tomorrow.
coffee. After that, it really just depends on the day. If it's a long meeting day, I might indulge in that third cup of coffee. I really cap myself at 2, 3 if I'm stretching it.
I'm normally only consuming coffee and then a cup of tea around 3 or 4 p.m. because
We always do.
That's essential for caffeine on I won't have any flavor hardcore.
On the days I'm not working out, I'll have 1 cup of coffee. That's all I need. I have 1 and done.
It takes a little over 4 cups of coffee to hit that 400 milligram limit that we talked about. Now remember that a standard cup of coffee is only supposed to be 8 ounces. To put that into Starbucks terms, it's a short cup. I've never heard of a short cup. Well, that's because no one ever gets it. It's even smaller than their tall cup. You know, their version of a small, which has 12 ounces. Yeah, so a tall Starbucks coffee is already delivering you almost 2 full servings of caffeine. The combination is shaping up to be much better than me. It's shaping up. Mr. Workout over here is putting himself to shame with his 1 cup of coffee a day plus his fitness.
The days I'm working out, I'm pre-workout for my caffeine boost.
There lies the catch, my friends. Over on Food Theory, we didn't have to do all of our pre-workouts and sugar. The basics of it all are pretty simple. Pre-workout is a supplement that boosts your energy and plus give you a more efficient workout. Think about it like going through for a second. Well, caffeine tends to contract the blood vessels in your brain. The mix of caffeine and creatine in a pre-workout, it actually widens your blood vessels throughout your muscles. This increases blood flow throughout your workout, making you feel super strong and energized for a short period of time.
So I volunteered for this episode.
Okay.
I wanted to check from the fitness side of things if caffeine made a difference or not. If it was
Shit.
an energy thing or if it
I don't know
was
which
just
is the top and which is
a
the bottom.
Glad to know that we're getting the full gamut of the caffeine experience with this one, guys. Place your bets now as to who's gonna suffer the most throughout this episode. Is it gonna be me, the Diet Coke addict,
Pretty
Amy,
much
the
identical,
gremlin,
so-
Tom the Bread, or Mr. Workout
I'll go with this one.
Let's talk about what we're actually gonna test here. First off,
Oh.
during our 9-day cleanse,
Hello.
we're gonna be tracking
Sorry, I just
all of our
noticed your
symptoms.
comment. You're probably already gone like 20 minutes ago.
2 main points of data. 1, how dependent our bodies are on caffeine, and 2, what symptoms we should be
I don't know what
looking out
language
for
that is, but
caffeine
yo.
in our system would be coming
Sup.
from each emotions. Then on day 10, after the caffeine's been fully metabolized out of our system, we're going to divide the experiment into 2 days: shower day and spa day. On shower day, we're going to be testing the caffeinated soap and body lotion. This day is going to give us the most overall skin exposure in the hopes that more surface area is going to lead to more absorption and better results. On spa day, we'll be giving ourselves a little well-earned relaxation as we try out a caffeinated face mask, serum, and moisturizer. This then will test a highly concentrated dose of caffeine in 1 or 2 targeted areas. After each test, we're going to be tracking whether or not we feel an energy boost when it wears off, and if we get enough to experience any sort of side effect. And hey, if you love seeing the team here going to crazy lengths to answer fashion and beauty's most asked questions, then you're definitely going to want to subscribe. We have a lot more experiments coming up in the future, including our longest experiment ever across any theorist channel.
There
You're
we go.
not going to want to miss that one. It is full of some very interesting practical
Okay.
advice for a very
Lungs are cut.
Anyway, enough promotion. Back
Those
to
are
the
cut.
episode. Going into the first half of the cleanse,
I need to
how
cut
fast we all started to feel the drain.
the
First thing we noticed was
squares.
headaches. I can tell you that right now I am working at a constant low grade where yesterday it felt like my head was going to explode for about 3 hours. I am not the type of person to lay down and do nothing in a dark, quiet place for a certain period of time. That's what I did because that's all I could do. It was rough. Right now, ibuprofen is my best friend. So I just replaced one drug with another drug. I do ibuprofen.
There we go. I got the pads done. It just leaves me with the butt. Where's my butt? Where's my butt?
So, you know, can have any of those.
Oh, there comes the back pain.
Okay, now, the first couple
Okay,
days,
where's the
I
butt?
was having headaches.
I don't want to do this anymore. Do do.
I would
Oh, okay, where are you?
really that bad. I didn't really take anything for
Oh, good. I got a good chunk of that used up. Ah, found the butt. Nope, too small. Nope. Where's the rest of it? I know I didn't use that entire fucking blanket. I cut chunks off. There it is.
So while Amy and I seem to have the most intense pain, we all felt it during the 24 to 48 hours. That actually makes a lot of sense when you look at what a regular dose of caffeine does to your brain. Caffeine narrows the blood vessels in the brain, but over time our brain just becomes used to that. In the period of withdrawal, your blood vessels start to widen again, and the increased blood flow triggers the headaches as your brain basically goes into a state of shock. When it came to sleepiness, that was one that we didn't all come to an agreement on. Jimmy the Caffeine crew really felt the absence.
After the second night, I went to bed. It was 9:30 and got up at 8, and so I slept for almost 11 hours. Did not expect to sleep for that long. My body naturally wakes up around like 7 or 8 hours.
8:39 p.m. I just fell asleep on the sofa, and that never happened to me. Then went to bed straight to sleep and woke up in total 11 hours later. 11 hours! Normally I'm getting between 7 to 9. 11 hours is crazy. Looks like the adenosine army came charging back in to reclaim their receptors. Now, it's hard to say exactly why common cases in particular have that kind of sleep, but it's likely that they just have more sensitive receptors. In general, I'd say that we were
Is that the back or the front?
6 out of 10. Casey and Tom were sleeping days away while Amy and I were shoveling pain relief like there was no tomorrow. Then Amy made a discovery.
So one of my other resolutions for January was to start exercising in the morning. I started that during the headache part of day 3. I've had a lot less headaches the rest
fucked
of
up.
this period. It's helped me be more awake.
I haven't fucked up completely, but I'm on the verge of fucking up big time.
So 2019 study found that people who gave up caffeine and then exercised during their main withdrawal phase managed to alleviate most, if not all, of their symptoms. It all comes back to dopamine. See, when caffeine attaches to the adenosine receptors, it also releases a little bit of dopamine, which is why without caffeine, people
I flipped the blanket.
So exercise was the exact same thing. So when our bodies were craving another dopamine hit from caffeine, Amy was able to give hers that hit through early morning exercise to replace the normal cup of coffee, curbing the worst of her headaches. Though she didn't quite get away scot-free.
So I definitely felt a little more easy, like everything is slightly out of
Okay,
focus.
so
Focus and work
this
on
is the biggest one, so I'm gonna have to go with the base of this, and
And she wasn't alone.
I found it really difficult to keep focused and to like do the deep brain thoughts that one has to do to write theories. You have to think quite hard, and I was struggling.
the silver
Mr. Workout, he was feeling a
is
lot
the
less
underside.
So I've had a couple of workouts
Dark.
since starting this.
They're all looking the same now. Let's get this one done, and then we can base the rest. Change the rest,
I
whatever
feel
it's
like
based
I'm
on.
missing a little something. I honestly am not sure.
Kids. Another really good channel told me that one time. But enough of the suffering.
I'm sleepy.
I'm also sleepy.
Day one of our testing, which was what was it
Oh
again?
shit, shittles, motherfucker. Ooh, I think I'm at the end of the night. Oh, you whore bag.
Basically let us put as much of this over as many surfaces as possible to see if
I think I'm done.
area will really let us feel the effects of this chemical. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take turns hop.
Oh, there you go. Alright, well, I got one thing done tonight, which is more than I thought I was going to get done. Well, and I didn't mess that up too bad. So, gonna call that a night, I think. It's midnight. So, either way, thank you guys for stopping by, and you enjoy the rest of your night.